Hello, I'm Ross Benjamin. I'm a student at the University of Minnesota, program of Mortuary Science, where I'm currently a senior. It's a pleasure to be with you. Question 1 asks about the most significant event in your life and how it has influenced you. The most significant event in my life was tearing my ACL during the senior season of my high school hockey career. This was significant to me because of all the hard work and training I did in that off season to ensure that I would both have fun and be successful during my last hockey season. But just 1 week after our team made a miraculous upset over the second-ranked team in state, I fell in practice and I hurt my knee. For a while after that injury, I couldn't even find words to describe how upset and sad I was because I had trained so hard and I had so strong plans for that season, and they both quickly ended with that one fall. But fortunately for me, the constant support from my teammates erased my bitter temperament and made me realize that I could still make the best of my senior season, and I believe I did that very nicely by showing my support very vocally at my friends' games, at my teammates' games for my small town Minnesotan hockey team. I learned a great moral from this injury, and that is no matter how hard we try, things sometimes don't go the way we plan them to. But even when those idea plans falter, we always have the opportunity to still make the best of those circumstances. And I believe I'll take this moral with me to the funeral profession because all of us, or most all of us anyways, plan on living a long time. But as we know, those plans don't always happen. And it is our role as funeral directors to provide services for families during a time of loss that are both memorable and meaningful. Question 2 asks what I see the difference between being good at what you do and being extraordinary. I believe what differentiates being extraordinary from good in your profession is an inner determination to improve yourself that only comes from sincere passion and interest. Continuing education is a good starting point to ensure that funeral directors are still learning all about the funeral profession. But in order to be an extraordinary funeral director, constant education on all the vast topics of funeral service is necessary to ensure that you are giving and be able to provide families of all backgrounds and all diversities. I've seen this sort of interest in my past during my sophomore year of college when I took a very intriguing World War II history class. One day during class, the student next to me asked me why I was reading a book on World War II that wasn't one of the class requirements. The reason why I was reading that book that wasn't a class requirement was because I was truly interested on the subject of World War II. In order for me to have that thorough understanding on the subject, I had to read outside of the class requirements in order to gain that. And I believe genuine passion like that, in order to better yourself by wanting to genuinely, is what differentiates being extraordinary from good. Question 3, I chose to answer what personal development skill I'd like to further develop. And after thinking, I'd like to ensure that I'll have the patience to persevere when adverse conditions may arise. And what I mean by this is I know that all funeral directors strive to provide flawless services, but after working in a funeral home for 3 years, I know sometimes things happen that are totally outside of the funeral director's control. Something like a pastor showing up at the wrong church, or a vehicle in the procession getting a flat tire, or just a member of the general public fainting during a visitation. These are all times when families are going to first look at the funeral director for help. So it is important for the funeral director to stay calm and cool while they're thinking of how to make that adverse situation better. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity for applying for the scholarship, and I hope you might consider me as one of the finalists. Thank you.